Hi everyone, welcome to Google Cloud Next 20 On-Air Weekly Highlights. My name is Jay Jenkins, and I have the pleasure of running an amazing customer engineering team here in Southeast Asia, where we help our customers solve some of their biggest challenges. This is Google Cloud Next 20 On-Air Weekly Highlights, where we're bringing you the best of what's available this week at Google Cloud Next. What's Google Cloud Next, you might ask? Google Cloud Next 20 On-Air is a free 9-week digital experience. You're going to have the opportunity to attend sessions, learn a little bit more about Google Cloud, and even get hands-on with some of our products. You'll also have the opportunity to engage with some of our product experts. We'll have Q&A available for every session, and the experts will get back to you within 24 hours. Last year, in 2019, tens of thousands of people gathered in San Francisco for Google Cloud Next. This year is a little bit different. We're bringing it to you digitally, which means there's no limit to the number of people that can attend and no cost to you. Google Cloud Next 20 will be kicked off this week by Thomas Kurian, our CEO of Google Cloud. He'll be talking about some of our customers globally and how organizations are using Google Cloud to take advantage of the opportunities that are available to them, and really transforming the way that they do business. So what's happening each week of this 9-week digital series? So this week, we're going to be talking about industry insights. We'll have experts and customers from industries to tell you a little bit about how Google Cloud technologies are helping and changing how those organizations operate. In week 2, we'll talk about productivity and collaboration. I don't think there's any other time where we've experienced a move to online productivity and collaboration as we have this year. We'll talk about some of the things we've learned and some of the challenges that we still face today. In week 3, we're going to be talking about infrastructure. And we're not just going to be talking about virtual machines, we'll also talk about how you need to change the way that you operate. Doing old things in a new place really doesn't change a business. So we'll talk to you about new ways of doing things to make you more agile so that you can have more reliable and agile services. In week 4, we're going to be talking about security. For many of you who might be moving to cloud for the first time, you might not understand how security works in the cloud. We'll have experts there talking to you about how security works in the cloud and how to make an even more secure environment for your data and your customers' data. In week 5, data analytics. Google, of course, we're well known for Google Analytics and looking at petabytes of information. We'll talk to experts and customers that are using data analytics in new ways to understand changes in consumer behavior and also how to react to those changes quickly. On week 6, we're going to be talking about data management and databases. So for those of you who are running traditional relational databases, we're trying to understand how to keep track of data. Those are the sessions for you. In week 7, we're going to be talking about application modernization. So this is something where we've seen a lot of movement, essentially moving from monoliths to microservices, using technologies like containerization, and also looking at automation of those services so that you can deploy daily instead of yearly. In week 8, we're talking about cloud AI, machine learning. We're going to hear from customers and experts on how machine learning is really changing how we do business today. And in week 9, business application platforms, APIs. Organizations are now looking at building platforms for their customers. We're going to be talking to customers and experts on how you can build those platforms for your partners and your customers. But of course, we're not just covering those things during the 9 weeks. We'll also be talking a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is something near and dear to Google's heart. We'll hear from experts inside of Google about how we address diversity, equity, and inclusion internally, but also talk to you about the tools and approaches that you might use for your own customers to make sure that technology is accessible to everyone. So please add these sessions to your playlist and attend. All right, so what are we talking about this week? This week we're focusing on industry insights. So let's take a look at some of the industries we'll be talking about. First, let's talk about retail. Carrie Tharp, our Vice President of Retail for Google Cloud, is going to be talking about some of the impacts of COVID-19 this year on retail. Some customers have seen a huge increase in demand, while others have had to look at cost cutting. Carrie will talk to you about retail, e-commerce, supply chain, and the changes that need to be made in order to look at customer behavior and how that's changing rapidly. There's also a session on healthcare. We're going to be talking about reimagining healthcare. Ashima Gupta, Director of Healthcare Industry Strategy and Solutions, is going to be talking to Dr. John Halamka, President of Mayo Clinic Platform. Mayo Clinic Platform is part of Mayo Clinic that is looking at new technologies and how they are changing healthcare into the future. We're also going to have a session on financial services. Thomas Kurian, CEO of Google Cloud, will be speaking with Yolanda Piazza, Vice President of Financial Services Sales, Google Cloud, and also two of our customers, Sartek Patanik, CIO of Clearance and Collateral Technology, the Bank of New York Mellon, and Melanie Frank, Managing Vice President of PowerUp Technology, Capital One. One industry that's seen a rapid increase is gaming. Rob Martin, our Chief Architect of Google Cloud for Games, will be speaking with Jacques Erasmus, Global CIO of Activision Blizzard King. We'll talk about games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. So we'll cover everything from AAA games to mobile games and look at how Google Cloud Platform is helping those industries scale up. Covering media and entertainment, we have Anil Jain, Managing Director of Media and Entertainment at Google, who will be joined by Jason Geitka, CTO of Major League Baseball. While certainly we've seen an increase in media streaming at home, we've also seen the struggles of content producers trying to create new content. Jason Geitka will talk about what Major League Baseball is doing in order to move into this new era of home viewing and how they're continuing to produce content. There's probably no industry that's been affected as much by this pandemic than public sector. Mike Daniels, our Vice President of Global Public Sector, will be joined by Roberta Reardon, New York State Department of Labor Commissioner. They'll talk about how public sector has had to respond during this pandemic rapidly and how technology has enabled them to do so. We'll not only talk about what's happened in New York State Department of Labor, but we'll also talk about some of the global challenges that have occurred this year. In manufacturing, we'll hear from Dominic Wee, Managing Director of Manufacturing, Industrial, and Transportation for Google Cloud. We'll be talking about how the pandemic has affected manufacturing. Not only has it slowed manufacturing because people have had to shelter in place or work from home, but they've also been affected by larger macroeconomic factors. And finally, George Nazi, our Vice President for Telco, will talk to you about how telecommunications have been impacted, and also what the future of telecommunications might look like with the emergence of newer technologies like 5G. There are over 200 sessions available during this digital event. That's a lot of content to go through, so make sure that you tune in to the weekly highlights series where we can provide some recommendations on which sessions to add to your playlist. Let me give you two to add right now. The first one is from one of our customers, Tiki, a Vietnamese company. They were able to move their entire platform over to Google Cloud in just 24 days. I also recommend that you add the session from Gojek. Gojek created an open source feature engineering platform. One of their engineers, along with the Google Cloud engineer, will walk you through that architecture to let you know how you can use that in your own machine learning operations. Thank you so much for joining us today. As I said before, there are a lot of sessions to go through, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us to understand what's coming up this week. Make sure that you attend these sessions every single week on Tuesdays. The Google Cloud Next content will drop the following day on Wednesday. Enjoy your sessions this week and join us next week as we talk to you about productivity and collaboration. Thanks. We'll see you then.